If you are coming to Australia for the first time, these are the 10 things you need to know. And without wasting time, let's go straight to those 10 things. Number 1, weather. Depending upon the state or territory you're coming in, the weather will be different. So for example, cities like Melbourne and Hobart are known for their cold winters. While you're living in other cities like Brisbane, Darwin or Cairns, you may not be getting such cold weathers. So it's very important for you to know that the weather in Australia varies a lot. So when you're coming to Australia, you need to be mindful of that because you will need to pack your bags accordingly. Obviously, if you're coming to cities like Melbourne or Canberra, you will need to pack your bags with some winter clothes for sure. While for some other cities, you might not be packing that much of winter clothes. Also, one more thing, Australian sun can be really harsh, especially in summers. If you're thinking to go out to a beach and getting tanned at 40 degrees, well, think about it again. It can get really hot, plus the UV rays can be really dangerous here. So going out in sunshine without a sunscreen is a sin. Number 2, jaywalking. So first thing first, what is jaywalking? Jaywalking is crossing the road without appropriate pedestrian crossing, or just crossing the street in front of a traffic or so. So in Australia, jaywalking is illegal. You could get a penalty of up to $70 if you get caught while jaywalking. So don't cross the street without a pedestrian crossing signs or zebra crossings. Otherwise, if you get caught, you could be fined for that. Number 3 is wildlife. Now for many people overseas who are thinking about Australia, first thing that come in their mind is snakes, sharks, spiders. While you could see some of these things in real life here in Australia, you could potentially see a spider or maybe a snake as well. In all honesty, it's not as dangerous as it's portrayed in some countries. To give you a better idea, the last person who died with a spider bite was in 1979. And on an average, only 1 or 2 shark incidents or accidents happen during the year. In all honesty, it is a pretty safe place to live in. So don't stress too much about these wildlife things. Next one is coffee. Now there is no doubt about it that Australians love their coffee. And I must say that Australian coffee is pretty good. Especially in a larger cities, you will get to see many good cafes with great coffee. So if you are not too much into the coffee at the moment, when you do come to Australia, you might find yourself liking this coffee culture as well. The next one, living standard. Now, a lot of people do complain that Australia is a very expensive country. While it might be expensive country in comparing the cost of living to some countries, it certainly has really good wages as well. Now, as per the government statistics, average weekly income of an average person in Australia is around $1,748. And if you convert that into a monthly income, that will be around $7,500. Comparing to an average cost of living of $3,460 per month, that's pretty good numbers. So in all honesty, living standard in Australia is pretty good. People can afford to buy things, go on holidays, and have a pretty good lifestyle. The next one is mobile network. Now there are 3 main network providers in Australia: Telstra, Optus and TPG, also previously known as Vodafone. So these are the 3 main network providers, but there are many other providers that use these networks to provide mobile services. So there are plenty of other options to choose from when you come to Australia. And there are plenty of different plans available for both local and international calling as well. But when it comes to mobile network, if you are living in a city areas, then you are in a luck, because most of the time the network in those inner city areas is pretty good. So you won't have issues with the dropout of calls or mobile internet issues. But if you start moving out of the inner areas to regional towns or to the bush, then it becomes a little bit challenging. Although we must say that Telstra does a pretty good job in holding their network in the outer areas or the regional areas, but you might be struggling to get a really good network with other network providers. And sometimes Telstra could also struggle too. So if you are going to travel in the regional areas or outer city, then you might have to choose your network carefully. The next one is generic medicines. Now let's hope you don't get sick, but if you do, you might end up going to a doctor who might end up writing a prescription for you that he suggests you to buy from the chemist shop. So you go to the chemist shop and ask for the medicine. Now pharmacists there might ask you, you want a generic medicine or branded one? And you might be thinking, what does it even mean? Now generic brands are like a no-name brands. They are obviously pretty safe to take, otherwise government will never approve them. But the only difference you might notice between generic brand and the other brand is the pricing. So you might find that the generic medicine is usually cheaper than the branded one. But to be honest, I don't personally think there's much of a difference between these two medicines, because they're obviously safe to take, otherwise Australian government will never approve those generic medicines. So when you do end up going to a chemist shop and a pharmacist does ask you this question, you want generic or branded one, you might like to choose a generic brand just because it will save you some dollars. The next one is speeding. Speeding while driving in Australia is not a good idea at all. First thing, the penalties are so high that if you do get caught, then you will be paying very high penalties for that. And there is a demerit point system as well, that you will lose some points when you get caught speeding. Now another reason is that there's a very high chance of you getting caught doing speeding. There are so many cameras around the city areas, plus there are a lot of mobile cameras that police do put around in the outer regions and outer city areas as well. So it's not worth taking the risk of speeding on the roads. And it goes without saying that it is definitely dangerous to do anyways. Next one is daylight system. Now some of you might be already familiar with the daylight system. Basically, daylight system starts on the first week of October and ends in the first week of April. During the daylight saving time, we push our clocks by 1 hour. But it is very interesting to note that not all the states actually participate in this daylight saving thing. So while some states actually move their clocks by 1 hour during these daylight savings, other states don't. It is a little bit weird kind of situation, because half of the country does not follow the system and the other half does. So for example, Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia doesn't take part in this daylight thing, while other states do. So it will depend upon the state or territory you are coming in, whether the daylight system applies over there or not. And last but not the least is smoking. Now if you are a smoker and you're coming to Australia, good luck. Australia is not known for cheap smokes. Australian government does it on purpose to discourage people for smoking, which as a non-smoker I really appreciate. But if you are a smoker, you might not like the fact that you will be paying around $25 to $30 for one pack of cigarettes, which is around 20 cigarettes per pack. So Australian government does it on purpose to put extra taxes on smokes. And that obviously makes the smokes really expensive. And obviously as a smoker, there are regulations and rules you will need to follow when you are in Australia. So these are the 10 things you need to know before arriving in Australia. Which things out of the list of these 10 you find most interesting? Let us know in the comment section below. Now if you are an international student coming to Australia, I highly recommend you to download our new Overseas Students Guide 2022. We have just published this guide a couple of weeks ago, and we have mapped the whole journey of an international student in this guide. And it is available for free from our website. I'll put the link of that in the description below, so make sure to check it out. And if you're new to the channel and you're coming to Australia, I highly recommend you to check our channel out, as we've got plenty of other useful content on the channel. Well, we hope you find this information useful. If you do, please make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, as it really motivates us. And as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.